You can tell it's an Australian summer. I'm sorry about the cicadas, nothing much I can do about it. But this week, it is the MG HS. When this car was released a few months ago, I thought then it was such a huge step from previous MGs. Not only did it look better, but it felt better as well. Its technology was improved, the engines felt smoother and more modern. The quality of this paintwork is incredibly smooth, with absolutely no blemishes whatsoever. There's 3 models in the range, all of them are front-wheel drive, and it's up against things like Toyota RAV4, which of course is, at the moment, the country's top-selling car. So think about that for a minute. The top-selling car is a small to medium SUV. This top one has 19-inch wheels. There's a little flourish here on the side bit where there's a side camera and there's another camera here under the side view mirror. The back, this is amazing. Look how much space is in the back. With the seat set for my driving position, there is tons of space underneath my feet, tons of space for my knees. The seat slides back when you get out of the car, if you've got that mode set, and the upholstery is decent quality too. You'll notice overhead an absolutely enormous sunroof, and the dash looks pretty damn nice. You get a pretty good feel for quality of a car from the back seat, I think, and I would probably be happy to do a long trip in the back of this car. And I've left the motor running so that you can see the light. I think that looks absolutely smashing. It's got some fancy trim and some exhaust tips, but it's how the thing works that's important. So although it doesn't have a hands-free option, it does have an electric tailgate. There's nothing under the floor to speak of, but there is a pull-out cargo cover and a 60-40-ish, maybe even 70-30 split rear seat. But there are no 12-volt outlets or USB in the back, so you'd have to run power from the front. The close button is up here, and luckily when you do open the tailgate it doesn't unlock the front doors, so you don't have to bother. You can just close and lock those and come around the back and do your business. I've already got the engine on inside because it's pretty damn hot outside. It's 29, but it's really, really humid. Take a quick look at the steering wheel. It's pretty much the same as we saw the last few weeks in the MGs. There's the cruise control and so forth this side, voice command there, one of the favorites buttons, here's the other one, and then this is audio and filing through various screens. At the moment I've got the driver monitor set for navigation. You can see that I've got 703 kilometers to empty, and it's doing 800 RPM at the moment. It is just one big monitor made up of 2 screens, and the screen on this side, again, they're both about 12 inches-ish. I have had some problems over the last few days with the wide Apple CarPlay. I got a new phone and I've been using the Apple plug that came with it, or the Apple cord that came with it. Unfortunately, this has got a USB 3, so I needed an adapter because it's USB-C to USB-C for the cord. Yesterday, this just would not work. No matter what I did, it just refused to work. Today, it's worked faultlessly. Throughout the rest of the week, it's been a little bit hit and miss. You activate the CarPlay. You've got to do that every time. It just doesn't seem to go automatically to CarPlay. And you can get back to the home screen by using one of these buttons. Now, everything is under a menu. You can see that this is just the bare minimum of buttons. You've got defrost front and back, hazard flashes, and climate control on and off. Down below there's only some vents and some outlets for 12 volt and the 2 USBs. Only one connects to the sound system. And behind that is parking brake, auto brake hold, and downhill descent control. All the other controls are subsumed in this center screen, and it means you've got to open this up every time you want something. It's got seat heating and cooling, and you can see over here a 360-degree camera as well. although it's not currently showing, when you get close to something, it actually shows you the distance in centimetres, so that you can slow down gradually as you're coming close to something that is going to do you no good. And all week I've been using the Apple CarPlay Google Maps, simply because, let me get out of that. Oh dear, I'm changing the views. Simply because if I was to go into the native system, this is a little bit slow. Every time I enter a new suburb, I get a bong. And also, I've got to turn off the speed limit recognition, simply because it has been consistently wrong. You can just turn off the warning, which means that at least you don't get an audible sound. And I think if you've got to turn a system off because it's so annoying, it's really not much good to you. Let's get on the road. For those of you who don't know what a DCT automatic is, it's a type of automatic transmission that is in fact two manual transmissions and two manual clutches side by side. It's just that it's all activated automatically. What it means is you get snappier gear changes, and it's supposed to be better if you're on a racetrack. Now, I prefer that to a CVT, as you know. I absolutely hate those things with a passion, but my preference is always for a conventional 6 or 8 speed automatic, 10 speed automatic that just changes gears nice and smoothly. You can see coming up to a bend, it's going to go around here. There's not much weight in the steering, but you know, electric steering is only as good as its programmer. So I just make, if I have the option, make the steering as light as possible. You go into this system and there's a whole bunch of options, and you can tailor the car the way you want. You can't do it though while you're on the go, because if you do, this little thing in front of me here is watching me, although I can turn that off as well, and it'll ding me if it thinks I'm not watching the road ahead. Sensible precaution, because a lot of these infotainment systems have become so complex that you spend half your time looking at that, and there's really no difference between looking at that and looking at your mobile phone. Had to turn the air conditioning up a bit. Really wasn't quite doing the job, and yet on the way up on this same temperature it's actually freezing. Never mind. I've got my central screen up. I'm just going to whiz into CarPlay. Save places. Alrighty. That's set to go. Now I'm just going to turn on my smart cruise control, and I've been able to configure that in the menu as well. So believe it or not, you can actually turn some of those things off. You can turn off the lane keep assist, you can turn off the smart cruise control. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. There are some people that just don't like them. Like me, they do not like bossy systems in cars. And that speed sign recognition system it's just not up to par. It can pick up a road next to you that's half the speed limit, and then it'll bong at you. I don't like. The lane keep assist is it's a little pernickety. I can feel it making little adjustments to the steering wheel, and while it's generally very good at keeping me in the middle of the lane, it can make sudden corrections, which I don't like very much. We're in a tunnel now, so at night you can see that the buttons are all backlit, which I like very much. Makes them very easy to use, very easy to find, including these up here on the dash. I think the 10-year warranty is absolutely astounding. Things that I'm not happy with include the CarPlay, which has been moody. But I think generally it's a really good package. That's all this week for the 2024.5 MG HS. It does everything it says on the box. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's comfortable. I like it a lot. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just over there on the little round thing to subscribe.